My name is Amy, and I'm a Norse Pagan. Alright, so 2020 is off the rails, and I figured since the world is on fire, maybe magic is real now. At the very least, what could it hurt to try? I may ask myself, how did I get here? I am the world's biggest introvert. Anyone who knows me knows that. I keep myself to myself. I'm very private. Don't talk to coworkers. I really don't even talk to my friends all that much. I'm terrible at calling. So why am I putting my whole life out on YouTube for the world to see? That's a good question. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I wanted somewhere where I could spew my random, nerdy English major pagan ramblings to the world, or scream them into the void, whatever you want to call it. If someone stumbles upon these, great. If not, even better. If I hate it and decide to delete all of this later, it'll happen. But yeah, why not? Why not just go for it in the meantime? So I figured I would just finally sit down and film this as kind of just a little intro video to what I'm hoping I will build up the courage to make the first of many. We'll see. Where should I begin? A little bit about me. Like I said, huge nerd. Always been big in Harry Potter. I read the first books when they were coming out. My mom worked at a bookstore, so she just kind of dropped them in my lap one day. And, I've always been kind of into, fantasy things in general. Like, one of my favorite movies growing up is Labyrinth. I have a huge poster over here on the wall that you'll probably see at some point. One of my favorite movies of all time. So aside from that, Harry Potter just really got me onto a whole, fantasy reading journey. I mean, I spent most of my childhood / through high school years in my bedroom alone reading. And, I can't really say much has changed since then. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to jump on here, is just because I have literally nobody else that I can talk to about all of these crazy, nerdy, witchy ideas that are always swimming around inside my noggin. So why not share them with the world? I've, been really inspired by a lot of the other people that I'm seeing on YouTube. I found The Wisdom of Odin, Jacob, yes. Great resource there. And, who else? Shadow Moon Witch. I started watching her videos as well. And they were both really big inspirations to push me to just get over my introvertedness and just hop on here and, ramble and share my ideas with everybody. And made me realize that, you don't have to be perfect to do it, because, that's the other big thing about me is I am a huge perfectionist. So it makes it really hard for me to finish projects. I am super good at coming up with ideas and starting projects and, buying all these materials and spending way too much money on craft things or random stuff that I get it in my head to do, and then I can never make any of it match up with the vision in my head, so I just give up. because, instead of practice makes perfect or try and try again, it's more like in my head, if you can't do it perfectly on the first try, then don't even bother. Yeah, what got me into Norse paganism specifically? It's really been a lifelong journey. I've been in to, like I said, fantasy things for most of my childhood, and branched out from there and read more books in that genre. And then aside from that, I really had some people in my close, circle that I would say, looking back, were definitely a big influence on me and getting me into like these occult things. Aside from reading those types of stories, I grew up watching a lot of those types of shows with my mom. She was always really into like paranormal and supernatural shows, the X-Files when that was on TV. I hate horror movies. It's weird to this day. Like, I won't watch them. But even as a kid in like elementary school, I wanted to sit down and watch the X-Files. And she was like, "Are you sure you're not going to be scared by this?" And I was like, no, I want to watch this. Because, some of it was scary, but I don't know. I always liked that, and not horror movies, but ghost stories. Ghost stories I was always really into. I would check out like every book on ghosts and hauntings from the library as a kid, and the Goosebumps books, all of those good things. I had a friend in high school who was like a professed Wiccan, and she kind of first turned me on to the concept that even someone as young as we were, when all of my other friends were kind of going to Sunday schools and church groups and meeting people that way, and I was never raised religious, so I didn't have those types of opportunities to make friends, but she kind of made me realize, like, oh, like there are other actual faiths out there that I could explore that might line up more with like my own personal concepts of cosmology and just morality in general, and that it didn't have to fall within those like Christian parameters, which was all that I had ever really known or heard of growing up. I wasn't raised in a religious household, but we live in a Christian based society, so it's really on us as people to explore anything outside of that. My mom also had some friends at the bookstore that she worked at that I think were into like a cult, because I specifically remember her on like one of the few house parties that she had for people. One of the ladies that came over brought tarot cards and was doing readings for people, and I think this was before we even moved down here to Illinois, so I was super young, yeah, like maybe 10, somewhere between 5th and 6th grade. And so yeah, I got to sit down and have a reading done by her, and that really got me into tarot. My aunt, who is my mom's identical twin, funnily enough, she would send me random crystals as like birthday presents and things like that. So, looking back, now that I've decided to just say screw it and go full witch, it's almost like I was unknowingly initiated into this kind of thing, and Freya in general. And I'll get more into Freya specifically in a future video that I'm planning. So stay tuned. But yeah, it really kind of set me off on this journey and initiation of sorts, that continued like even through into college. I majored in English, mostly because that was what I was always good at, was reading and writing, so figured why not just continue. And I really just kind of used it, yeah, as like more of a learning opportunity, and while I was pursuing that degree, I still kind of used it as a way to research the things that I was already into, because I not only have a degree in English, I also minored in East Asian Studies, because on top of everything else, I'm a huge anime nerd. I just really wanted to explore those histories and those religions. And yeah, just expand my knowledge of the world even further. So I got to take a class in Hinduism, which was great. I had to push to take it. It was I think I was only a freshman or a sophomore, and this was an upper level course, but I just wanted to take it so badly because we got to go on a field trip to Chicago area and see some of the actual Hindu temples that were there. And so just to have that experience and not only learn about that religion, which has really also shaped my perception of paganism and the craft, but to get to go to those places of worship and really experience that was just an opportunity that I had to have. Once more, spent a lot of my alone time just sitting in the aisles of the library reading. I've always throughout my life wanted to get my hands on as much knowledge as I possibly could, and now I need an outlet for it. I need somewhere to share it. So hopefully there are other people out there who are also interested in the things that I'm interested in and want to hear me ramble about them. So on that note, what do I hope to bring? And that's another thing that's going to be really tough for me because there's so much out there. There's so much already out there. I feel like I'm really late to the party on this one because, yeah, there's such a wealth of content on YouTube alone of just people sharing their knowledge of paganism and Wicca and witchcraft. If there's one thing that I'm really embracing on this path, it's empowerment and raising my self-esteem and just kind of telling myself, you know what, this paganism and Norse paganism and finding Freya has just really been a convergence of, yeah, all of these things that I've been interested in and passionate about my entire life. So deciding to just embrace my inner weirdo and share it with the world and stop being afraid of what other people think and stop hiding it is just part of my journey. And I think putting myself out there and sharing it with random internet strangers might be a really good thing for me because I always have been so anxious and so fearful of other people's thoughts and opinions, and I'm getting really sick of that. 2020 has been the longest year of all of our lives, I think, to be honest, and you know what, I'm just over a lot of things. I'm going to make many more videos, I hope, expounding on my experiences and my thoughts on those things in particular, my journey to paganism and Norse paganism, specifically Freya. If you had asked me even 3 months ago if I would be here on YouTube talking about my experiences and beliefs in witchcraft and with Freya and the Norse gods, I would have thought that you were crazy. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to think that I'm crazy. But it was real. I hope to talk about that further in a video. But it happened. I reached out to her and my prayers were answered. I almost still can't believe it. But it worked. Random trivia and knowledge on mythology and specifically comparative mythology, which has always been one of my passions and something I definitely studied when I was getting my English degree. I did my senior capstone in folklore specifically, but so I feel like I kind of at least have a leg to stand on when I talk about my crazy theories on paganism and the practice, because, I might be new to actually practicing Norse paganism, but like I said, it's been a lifelong journey for me that's led me here to this moment. And something that I've been researching and I think reading up on for years now, for probably at least half my life. I'm in my 30s, which is crazy to believe. I almost don't want to believe it, but it's true. I don't know if any of my friends and family are going to find these. If they do, I honestly can't say anyone's going to be surprised if they really know me. I was always that quiet kid in school, but the people who really know me, I don't think they're going to be shocked. Yeah, I've definitely been inspired by a lot of the other people I've discovered on social media and on YouTube, like the Wisdom of Odin and the Shadow Moon Witch, like I said. So huge shout outs to them for inspiring me on my path and embracing it, and helping me to find a community of other people where we could talk about all these crazy experiences that we're all having. Now that I've been committed to it, it was really a crazy coincidence to find how many other people in this age group specifically are finding paganism and Norse paganism, to be specific. I think there's a mass awakening and a convergence of energy, and we're all feeling it, aside from just 2020 being a crazy roller coaster of a year in general and just being off the rails. And, I don't think any of us ever thought growing up that we would be living in the America that we are in 2020. I'll just say that. Has kind of helped me find a rock in all of the chaos to kind of cling to, as it were, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I can say with some certainty that nature is still going to be there, that the sun is still going to come up every day. I found something on Facebook the other day that said, I worship nature, don't call me crazy, because I can prove it exists. And I think a lot of us are looking not so much as an escape from this crazy reality as just to touch base with something steady, something real. And I think seeking these folk religions is a way of doing that. It's given me at least, like I said, something that I can be certain of. Regardless of what happens, the seasons are going to come and go. Regardless of what we and I do as a person, as a species, the seasons are going to keep cycling, and nature is going to run its course and do what it's going to do. And that's kind of comforting in a way, or at least it has been to me the past couple months. So yeah, I'm just hoping that I can share my ideas with all of my fellow like-minded pagans out there. Shout out to the Wisdom of Odin Discord. I'm Night Angel on there, and expect more from me. Hopefully I don't hate this. Hopefully I'll actually learn how to edit and post it and upload it to YouTube, and share more with anyone out there in the void of the internet who might be interested in mythology and my journey to witchcraft. I'm a witch.